What's up, Adam?
Hey, what's up, Bob?
Excited for tonight?
Yes, I've been waiting to do this all day. So,
I have been waiting for a very long time to do this. I was actually voice messaging Fish before the stream because he shared it. Thank you to everyone who shared this stream, by the way. It's the first one since Fish's, which was in like October when I left for Bull Moose. So it's been a while. I started your list back in like August. First one I watched. Well, I don't want to spoil one of the titles yet, but and I didn't rewatch any of them. I feel like I actually got my notes for talking points on my phone, so I got to pull that out. But yeah, it was I don't know. I realized I can't sign into that. Anyways, it was a lot of fun doing this list. I had a bunch of fun doing it. And I'm excited to give you a list myself. Give you one, switch it up. So, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of these game nights again and different streams like that. But I may be biased, but the watch list things, these 10 movie recommendations, they're my favorite by far.
yeah, it was
So
fun. It was fun to, give you a list. So I can't wait to get mine and start watching.
yeah, I'm very excited. And throughout the stream, I'm probably gonna try and sign in on this. For some reason, I cannot sign in on my Evernote app that I use to literally write down all my notes. So I had all these talking points, and I'm very disappointed because I realized I can't sign in. It is not letting me sign in, so that is disappointing. But while we're waiting, let's go ahead and catch up with the chat here. So we've got Caveman in the chat. Hey there, everyone. Please hit the like button for these two cool cats. We got Joe Martinez. Hi from Marie and I. This is going to be a fun one. Adam, as always, has good taste. Hey, Joe Marie and your little dude. Johnny says, what's up, cool kids? We got Adrian James in the house. Mama Blu-ray, what's up? She says, hey, Bob, what's up? We got John Doe Juggalo here. Let's see. Johnny, just film addiction. Cody, he shared it. What's up, everybody? Smash that like button for Bob and Adam. We've got Holland Oat saying, what's up, fellers?
The Doc.
Mizzy is in the chat saying, hey, caveman, what's up, Holland? Movie Warehouse says, what's up? What's up, Nicholas? We got Holland saying, hey to Movie Warehouse. Let's see. Corey is in the chat. Corey Wilkies. My laptop the mouse has not been working very well lately. But there's Corey. Hey, all. I feel like I'm all like discombobulated because my phone's not letting me on and I'm disappointed. What's up, Fish? Good evening, everyone. I can't wait to see what we have on store for us. We got Caveman, Fish. There's lots of highs back and forth. How's your buddy liking YouTube so far, Film Addiction? Basement Blues is in the chat. Tony's here. What's up, Tony? Tony. He saw a movie today. He saw Arthur the King. I saw in his letterbox. He went to the theater. Just a lot of highs back and forth. Let's go, Corey. Sorry we were late. It's a party in here tonight. We got Hey Bonnie. Jane Doe. Letty is here again. That is Jeff's mom, and she has been like in all my streams lately. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support.
Yes. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much caught up. Like I said, I'm going to try and get signed into this at some point. I really hope I can because I had some really good talking points on a couple of them. But for some reason, it's just like it's not even letting me hit the continue button. So I have to go off of
memory.
Yeah.
Maybe when the movie comes up, it'll like, oh yeah, that's what I wrote
I definitely remember. I just had some really good talking points. There was one, like the ones like number 1, 2, and 3. There were some like huge talking points I had, and so it's really pissing me off that I can't get signed in.
Well, maybe by the time you get to 1, 2, and 3, it'll work. Because you're going to start at 10, right? We're going like worst to first or something.
Yeah. I'll go. I always start with number 10. Yeah. And then I go down number 9, 8, so on and so forth.
All right.
But for some reason, it is just not letting me in. So I'm going to keep trying. And I hate doing that because I hate being on my phone. It's not like I can mask it. You know what I mean? Because like it's just you and I, right? So there's no like if I'm sitting here on my phone trying to get signed in, I can't really hide that, right? But we'll see what I can do.
Lots of technical difficulties tonight. So
Yeah, unfortunately on my end. But so basically the way it'll start is I'll start with number 10. I'm trying to pull up my what did I just watch banner here. I will rank them myself, of course, as I did last time. We'll go through, we'll talk about them, each one, and he'll get to give his reaction. And then after we do that, I will have him guess my ranking. And then I will guess his ranking, and he will give his ranking, and then we'll talk a little bit. And then after the stream is over, I will be giving him 10 movies to watch. And I have like 14 I nailed it down to. I had like 40, nailed it down to 14, and we'll see which ones, if any, he's seen. And then I have to narrow it down to 10. And I think you have some of them. And it's a mixture of everything.
It could
But
be.
I'm
So
very curious. Go ahead.
you're just gonna go. So you're gonna go over the 10 movies, but not like in the particular order that you like them, right? Just gonna go over the 10.
Yeah.
Or is this like, yeah, and then you're gonna tell me what you like?
I'm going to go over number 10, and then number 9, and then number 8,
Okay.
and number 7, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And we'll see. I'm trying to get signed in here, and I thought it was going to work, and it didn't, and I'm very disappointed. Because, like I said, like you have these amazing talking points, and it just doesn't want to work. So we'll see if I can get it. All right. Anyways, let's get started because I'm not going to keep messing around with my phone this whole time. I feel really bad. Wait, I might be on. No, never mind. I'm not going to get on.
Psych.
Oh, geez, I'm disappointed. This is why I need to get my priorities straight.
Oh, Bobby.
I'm a mess. Before the stream, I was trying to. I'm just catching up on the chat here. Hey, Bonnie, great seeing you. Feels like family is here. Hello, guy. Hope you're feeling better. What's up, cool Johnny? Nothing much. Fish, just eagerly anticipating to hear what Adam suggested to Bob. Where's Huck Ken? Huck and Ken, we are family. Everyone, I'm still feeling fine. Still getting antibiotics. Antibiotics every 4 hours. We will be here until April 6th. Well, I'm
Good
sorry.
to hear, guy.
Do hope you get better. Okay, I'm gonna go to the brain and we're gonna get started. All right, number 10. Here we go. You ready?
Oh yeah. Are they ready?
Number 10 is Maverick. Is that a big surprise to you at all, or?
No, not really, because after rewatching it, I'm like, it was a little bit more on the cheesier side.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, Bob's not into like cheesy humor as much. You know, it was a little like overdone. Like, you know, certain scenes are just too far. Like, I don't know, it just felt like fake. But it's a fun movie. You know, I don't know if I would have recommended it to you again, knowing you better now. But I think it was more because of that cheesy aspect, the cheesy westerny kind of thing. So.
Yeah. No, for me, and I want to be clear. Okay, I do have to pull up exactly what I gave each movie on here, but I pretty much remember. So, I'm so distracted by trying to get into my app here, and I can't. So I'm like all flustered right now. But let me be clear about Adam's list. Okay, for starters, the lowest rating I gave any movie on here was 3 stars. So every single congratulations, single movie on your list. This is my lowest ranking, and 3 stars is like above average for me. So I
Yeah.
had fun with it. So even my least favorite on your list, number 10, I still enjoyed. So congratulations. I had a great time with your list, and we'll get into some more. But so for me, for Maverick, and this was one of the first ones I think I remember watching. I think I was expecting a poker movie, and it's really much poker until like certain scenes. It's really a comedy, and I went into it expecting like a straightforward poker movie, and it's really not at all. And there's a lot of like not twists and turns necessarily, but like little gimmicks where you just kind of like, here's a little twist, here's a little twist, here's a little twist. You know, do you see that coming? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, towards the end it gets a little bit more where they try to like give you like a twist. Yes, like it. And the
Yeah.
poker, that's actually the reason that I even liked the movie or watched the movie a long time ago, is because I used to play Hold'em a lot when poker was popular, or way more popular. And I'm like, oh, this must be a poker movie or like card movie, and it is, but not like, you know, like maybe only like what 15%, maybe. The rest is just like leading up to it.
Yeah, that's exactly kind of my point, is that it's not really it was a lot different. Exactly. The ending gets there, and there's some fun twists and turns. And as I try to point out last time when I do these streams, we will try to avoid spoilers. If we go into spoilers, um, I'm actually going to put a little note on the screen here. So if we get into spoilers, I will put, this is what I was going to do. I just think
And
it,
it'll
I
be
will
hard
put
not to. Sometimes it'll be easy to just spill.
I'll put
Um,
spoilers up there, and when it's done, I will hide it. So like it'll be gone. So I'll have spoilers, 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 and when we're done talking about spoilers, um, I'll take it off the screen. So that way people know, because I don't like to be spoiled. I know Tony talks about it. Sometimes he doesn't pop in as much in watch list streams. He'll pop in, but he doesn't like to have a plot given away. You know what I mean, for a movie, if that makes sense. But I'm like all a mess because my damn app is
you're
not
so
working.
slick with that phone.
I am
Yeah,
so upset
the
because I
the
have such good talking points, and I have all my notes on this app, and it is not letting me in. Right.
frustrating.
Yeah,
But it
very.
is. I mean, the cast alone too, with Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, James
Hmm.
Garner, and there's even an Easter egg in there. I'm not going to give away. So there's a fun. I don't know if you caught it in the beginning, uh, with Mel
I
and someone else.
I did not.
Well, I'll talk about it later. But
I don't think I did. I really like Gardner, James Gardner. He's a lot of fun.
right.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed him, and he's pretty young in this. And what was this, 80s or 90s? Had to be in the 90s.
Uh, Probably in the 90s. I'm thinking.
Feels like all families here. I love it. Yeah. Where's Huck and Ken? We are family. I'm literally rereading stuff. I feel like Tony says
Yeah,
I enjoyed Maverick the first
94, 94.
94. I enjoyed Maverick the first time I watched it. I watched it again last year, and it was not as fun. Yeah, it was decent enough. Difficulties, who I'll be the nurse. We've got that's great three. Yep, yep, absolutely. Maverick was just okay for me. Maverick was kind of comedy westerns. I like more serious westerns. You'll see some more westerns, I'm pretty sure, on here. I watched Venom 2 on Saturday night. It's not great, Adrian James says. James Gardner was the original Maverick. I love the throwback to the series. The Maverick soundtrack was big when the movie came out in 94. Well, get excited for Venom 3, Adrian. It's a solid Mel Gibson flick. Mizzy E says you've never seen Maverick. So many country singers in this film. Yes, Mizzy, Venom 3 is coming out in October, I think. Jim Powers in the chat says, "What's up, all? I was just going to spoil Adam's surprise. Laugh out loud. If you're a fan of Mel, then you'll immediately know what the scene is about." I think I know what you're talking about now, and I might even have it written down, but like it just drives me crazy because I can't even get in. You used to watch reruns the Rockford Files with James Garner back in the day. Okay. All right. So that is number 10 for me. Like I said, yeah. All right. Let's get into, you ready for number 9? Number 9 was an interesting one. Do you think you know where I'm going with this? It was I think it was the second one I watched on your list. But we have got Fortress with Rachel
Whoa.
Ward.
Oh.
Uh-oh. This one crushes you? You wanted it higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I like this one. I also gave it 3 stars. It is a very strange movie, and this is a movie, and I probably wrote it down in here if I could actually get on. This is a movie that 100% could not get made today.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
At
correct.
all. You had the teacher and like had to undress in front of her students, and then at one point she like is topless completely, and her student is just like staring at her. But if
Like,
you
should I? Yeah. Should
yeah,
I do
if
the
you
same?
yeah, exactly. And then he has to change. And so when I was watching this, I was like, yeah, this is not but it was a fun movie. It's fun. Um, and it's entertaining. But it is
Yeah.
did it feel, I mean, you said you watched it when you were younger.
Yeah. This is one that I've like grown up with. Like I searched it out as I've gotten older because it's not like a regular release. It's not like has no Blu-ray. I don't think. If it is, it's region something. But it was it's just one of those like movies that well, since I've watched it so like for so long, it just sticks with me. It's like I can watch it anytime, and I loved it again when I rewatched it because I rewatched all 10 of these movies, so I
Mhm.
loved it again. We'll leave it at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I know you had so not a spoiler, but something that Adam had done um after I had scheduled a live stream and I was like, "Hey, we're going to get around to doing this soon." He had mentioned to me, he's like, sent me a picture on Instagram or text message, whatever, and you were like, it was a stack of all 10 movies and you own them all, and whether it's
Yep.
DVD or Blu-ray, you have all 10 of them, and you had to go out and buy the last couple because you were like, I don't have this one, but yep, there's a DVD of Fortress. Yeah, so uh I had figured that I figured I don't know where I put this one on your list. We'll see. I'm probably going to be wrong at this point now because I'm surprised by how much you enjoyed it. But yeah,
It's because I mean the kids. It's not like Lord of the Flies or anything, but I love like
no,
where kids are involved with, and there's action and there's killing and there's not like nudity because I don't. That's the other thing. Like you'll notice the theme tonight. There's not a lot of TNA. You know, this is like way off my normal type of movie. So, um, and Rachel Ward just killed it. And it has uh the bad dude from Commando. I can't remember his name right now, but the main like bad dude from Commando is like one of the people in the movie, and like for some reason I just loved his character. I don't know why growing up, so like it's another reason it attracted me to this movie. Because I've watched other movies, I'm like, oh, that guy's in it, so I'm gonna watch it now. So definitely watch Fortress, guys, please.
yeah, absolutely. I got signed in, but it doesn't look like I have any notes on this. This is a
He's still
different tab.
signing it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to mess with it because I really had some talking points, and it's going to drive me crazy that
Right.
I, I can't do it. Like, I mean, I'll remember. It's just like this stream is not off to the start that I wanted. I was so looking forward to it, and this damn phone and not having the notes is going to drive me nuts. I watched a lot of reruns of Rockford Files as well. Recently bought the Blu-ray series. Wendy says, of course. Film Addiction says, never seen this one either. So he hasn't seen the first two, it looks like. Holland says, hey, Wendy. Adrian says, great theme, Rockford Files. Mizzy says, nice. Corey watched it with my dad. He got me into it. Rachel Ward is underrated, Fish says. Mizzy says, hell yeah, Adrian. Rachel Ward had me feeling funny downstairs after watching Against All Odds. If you know, you know. What was that name? Never heard of Fortress. Writing it down. Yep, Fortress from like 19.
Like 80 something. It was an HBO video. It was like
Had to
on
be 80,
HBO.
88, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I gave this one 3 stars as well. So the first two were 3 stars for me. Let off some steam, Bennett. That's how I feel about Jeff Bridges. Fortress, 1985 was an HBO original. It is on YouTube.
There we go.
So you can watch it on YouTube, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Next up. What do we got here? Number 9. Anything else you wanted to say about it? Well, I'm trying to still or get in here somehow.
Just watch it. I think most people will enjoy it. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything. Especially if you like survival, kids involved, like uh, masked people. I mean, it's got a little everything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hidden gem, and I can't
I
believe it's number 9 for Bob. So
well, I'm actually surprised that you are surprised that it's my number 9. To be honest with you, as funny as that sounds.
yeah, it's not a
Um,
romance or an addiction movie or anything like that. So
okay. I am driving myself up a storm trying to get signed in here. People are like, what is he still messing around with this? The password has expired. Please reset it. It's like, what the heck? Yeah, it's driving me nuts. I'm gonna get in this before we're done, and I'm just gonna keep like buying time so I could reset my pass because I'm trying to figure out how to get signed into this damn app. But okay, here we go.
Good luck.
I'm gonna get in. I'm telling you because number 1, 2, and 3. I have so like okay. For example, Ellie gave me some movies, right? Mizzy gave me some really heavy movies. I have some extremely like detailed notes on here. So I really want to get in because it's like some of the ones that you like more you type in a lot more
Yeah. Okay.
information and notes on. And so it's like it's hard if you forget some of the notes because number 2 on this list, I have a ton of notes for. So if I don't get in, then it breaks my heart. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see what happens.
All right, here we go. Number 8. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Before I do that, let me read the comment section. Thanks for his boobs. Yeah, I was surprised that number Towering Inferno was number 1. I think Tim was very surprised. I think my number 1 on Tim's list was his prediction was my number like number 10, which was the outfit. Bob, just go ahead and admit to Adam that you didn't take any damn notes.
You're typing them right now.
I used to use a pen and paper, and sometimes I do. It's saying please choose a different password. It's driving me crazy. I'm just not. It's just not my day right now. Yeah, I was rushing home to do this, and it just. Okay, number
Shots
8.
fired.
I'm fired. Yep. All right, number 8. You ready for it? Another Western.
Oh.
Why is my
Oh.
Silverado? Am I killing you here?
Well, a little bit, yeah. I could tell you're not into westerns or
No,
like
wrong.
or these type of
And
westerns. This is like a not like a it's like a mainstream western, you know. It's not like a true western, I guess you could say.
and I gave this 3 stars, 3.5, 3.5.
Good.
Let me make sure I gave it 3.5. Hold on. Get out of here. I am pretty sure it was 3.5 stars. Yeah.
That's good.
And I watched this one on November 5th. So I gave it 3 stars, 3.5 stars. So it's not like, okay, so it's low, it's number 8, but in retrospect, I liked
Right.
it, right? It's just that I think what people and you and everybody watching needs to understand is that it being that low though and having 3.5 stars says something about how much I like the movies on your list, right?
Yeah, it's exactly because with only 10 to pick from, it's you got to put it somewhere. And that's why I told you earlier some of these movies I could if I rewatch it would change the number probably or I could easily just interchange like 4 and 8 like so it's yeah, makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and you said that it would change often for you, your list, or your
Yeah,
ranking would
yeah.
change frequently. So,
Based on, when I watch it cuz some of these movies I'm like when I rewatch them I'm like okay, yeah, I remember liking that like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but not as maybe as much this time around. But then if I watch it again, maybe next year, 3 years, who knows?
yeah,
Just depends on my mood. So
absolutely. All right, I am in finally, and luckily I did not in order, but okay. So Silverado, I had fun with it. I love the cast. I do love the cast, and you got
right,
Danny Glover in it. You got what is Jeff Goldblum, but Jeff Goldblum feels out of place in it. He
yeah,
doesn't he
still
doesn't
got
come
like
off as like he doesn't come off like he's meant for westerns.
yeah, he's what is he? He's like a poker player or something like that. But he's young. He's definitely a young Jeff Goldblum. But
Well,
uh there's
Kevin
so many people in the movie. He kind of just gets like washed away like in the back. So
Kevin Costner is my guy though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I love Kevin Costner, favorite actor. I wrote it felt a tad bit long at times. It dragged at moments. And I felt like the editing was all over the place slightly. That if it could have used I didn't have a problem with the writing per se, but the editing felt a little wonky.
Well, I'm guessing because it had so many stars in it to accommodate everyone, they had to like
Yeah.
they try to have subplots or some or stories, but it really wasn't. And they were just like scenes, interwoven scenes put together. You know, I would have liked it to be a little bit more funny. It had humorous
Okay.
moments and whatnot, but because it's not like it's a little I don't know, it's not anything. It's not like serious, not humorous, but it's an awesome movie. And the soundtrack or that theme song. Oh, when the theme song for Silverado comes on, oh yeah, it gets I'm like I'm ready.
Nicholas says Tim's 70s list is coming up soon too, isn't it?
Hopefully.
I know he had to reschedule it. I'm not sure if he did yet. Corey says Silverado's great. Saw it in theaters. Nicholas says I've never seen Silverado, but I like the cast. Mizzy says Adam is so disappointed. A great Larry Kasdan film. I've never seen Silverado. So write down, never seen it. Satan says, hey, these movies aren't that low. I got two. I am finally not the first time Bob has. I am in finally. Not the first time Bob has said that. I bet I'll have at least a 1-star on mine, Fish. Laughing emoji. Haha, Johnny. Yeah, the lowest star I gave Fish's was 1 star. The lowest one I gave Tim's was 2 stars. The lowest one I gave yours was 3 stars. So 1, 2, and 3 stars. Mizzy's, I've been watching some of Mizzy's list. I've only got one left to go on Ellie's list. Like I said, I'm so glad to be on the app finally, not in. How's that, Johnny? But because now I feel much better. But I love doing these streams. It's a lot of fun. I love watching movies, blind buys, and we're gonna get into it at some of the top because there's some that I really, really liked on this list. And it's so much fun blind buying movies and blind watching movies, some you've never heard of. And I can't wait to talk about my number 2 because you're going to be like, what? Silverado is one of my favorites. It's on Netflix. Johnny, that's funny. Okay. All right. See, I'm much more energized now that I'm finally in, Johnny. I'm in.
You're not distracted.
Yep. Mine will likely have a -1. LOL. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's see here. What do we got? So my number, I know which one. You're going to be disappointed in this one too, I think. All right. Anything else you wanted to say on Silverado before we move on?
No, if you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. Even if you don't like westerns, like I think you'll enjoy it even if you don't like westerns.
And I think it's got a digibook out there, and I need to get it.
It's I think it's got like an Olive Films or a Twilight Time. One of
I
those
was
two put it
so
out.
disappointed because I have like 75 or 100 digibooks in my collection, but that's one of the ones I don't have. So it's on the list to get, though. It's on the list.
Yeah.
I will get it. Okay. All right. Next up. Here we go. Don't kill me. Born on 4th of July, number 7. 3.5 stars I gave it. So a couple things about Born on 4th of July. Let me get my notes out here. Okay. So it's really long. And I watched it because I don't sleep very well. So I watched it really late and I started to get a little bit tired. But and I was expecting a lot more war. I think I went into it with different mindset. Now, a couple things though. The scenes where it's like the shooting when they shoot it when they're in the war. There's a couple camera shots that are just absolutely remarkable. Like there is blood on the grass and everything like that. Like it's incredibly shot, especially when it's in the war. If that makes sense. I thought it was just remarkably shot. The cinematography was incredible, especially the scenes in war. And then
the sand dunes and stuff, like the lighting and
yes.
It's a yeah, you're right, because I expected it too when I first watched the movie to be a full on like platoon type movie, especially the cover. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this has got to be a total war.
Same director.
Yeah, Oliver Stone. Yeah, so I can see though why when you said long, it definitely is a long one.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Hello, Tiana, my dear. Tiana's in the chat. Corey says, Tiana, we got a lot of highs back and forth. We got, wow, number 7, Bob. Joe Martinez says, wow, number 7. Movie Warehouse says, I love Tom Cruise, but I've never seen this one. Johnny says, I need to rewatch Born on 4th of July. And I just watched this one. It was actually the last one on your list that I watched. Born on 4th of July is a little rough. Basement Blue says it is a tough watch. Corey, Tom Cruise is due to make an appearance in the chat. He should have. Never seen this either, unfortunately. And there's some more Tom Cruises on here. So somebody text Tom Cruise and tell him to get his button.
Right, we're watching movies.
Jane Doe says, very good movie, but yes, Corey, it's a hard one emotionally. Okay, so one of the things I really wanted to talk about with Born on 4th of July is, not to dive into politics a ton or too much, my dad is very, very big into I don't get into politics. I don't like to. my dad will get into politics. But one of the things he is really, really, really bothered by is how our society treats our veterans. And this movie, I hear my dad talk about it all the time. I mean, I see it, right? But this movie depicts it. I mean, it's tough when he gets out of the war. There's a scene, and let me see if I wrote the quote. He says, "Treat me like a human being. I just want to be treated like a human being." If you remember,
Yeah,
there's
the
a
hospital.
rat. He like falls over. He's laying belly down, like face first, towards the ground, and he's screaming to get help to be put back up, right? And he pissed on himself and all this stuff, and that's when he screams like, "I just want to be treated like a human being. I fought for our country. Like, this is how we're treated." And then even when he comes back and he's out of the rehab center and everything like that, he just the way they treat our veterans. I know war is it can be a tough topic at times to talk about, but it was eye-opening to me to watch, and how accurate still is to this day, because my dad's like, there's veterans homeless that can't even get housing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He's like, the way we treat our veterans. And then watching this movie really opened up my eyes to that. And it's extremely sad, and the movie is very sad. It's very heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah, it'll pull out some strings, and it goes like,
Fish
especially
says
once
it's shameful how our country treats our veterans.
yeah, and it
100%.
depicts it, like you said, very well, like especially towards the end of the movie. It's a serious movie too. It's not like you don't go in there, you don't laugh in this one.
You laugh
Um,
once when he's like, "Penis, mom,
oh
erect
yeah,
penis."
you're actually right. That's a
Yep.
good scene.
He's like,
After
"Don't
she,
say that. Don't say that word." You sent me the video of that, or you started screaming it.
you're
You
right.
sent
That
me a
was a
voice
good one.
message, and you were like, "Erect
That's
penis."
one laugh. Okay, this
Yeah,
was one laugh
that's
in it,
like the only laugh
but
you can get though in this one for
yeah,
sure.
and William Dafoe in it, he's excellent as
He's so
well.
good.
Yeah.
Watching them fight in a wheelchair, and then they both fall on the ground, and they're in the middle of
Yep.
nowhere.
Right.
Absolutely nowhere. I was like, what the hell are they going to do? How are they going to get back up? And then they fall down like the whole hill. They just roll down.
It's just
Yeah.
another like, cause Tom Cruise, it's different. It's not his normal role, I guess, from when I watched him. It's a little different. I didn't know he was so serious. So if you haven't seen this one, yeah, just be ready, sit there for a moment. You know,
Heartbreaking to the scene where the hooker is trying to get him erect, and he's like, I can't get
right?
hard, and she's like, just let me take care of you, don't worry. And he's starting in the bed with this
Crying.
hooker prostitute, and it's like, I almost shed a tear in that one. Cody says, William Defoe, I'm sold. And William Defoe is incredible in the like smaller role that he has.
Yeah.
He's incredible in it. I'm still waiting for the Academy to give Defoe his honorary Oscar. Yeah, he's a great actor, especially in this one. He's incredible. So very good in that one. And I don't own that either. I need to get the 100th anniversary one of that one. So now
I just
this
have
next
a
movie,
basic blue, so easy to
yeah, I
find.
want to get this slip with that. That's like the 100th
Yeah.
anniversary one. Tony definitely has a Basement
Of
Blues.
course, Tony.
Yeah. You want me to dive into number 7, or you want to keep talking about that one? Anything
No,
else you want?
that I figured that's where it would be, to be honest, because of how long it would be, and
Okay.
yeah, that's good.
All right, perfect. I got a lot of notes for this one too. Okay, here we go. Number 7. Number 6. Number 6. That was number 7. This is number 6. Here we go. Number 6 is Far and Away. Is that slightly where you expected it, maybe?
Yeah,
Let's
actually,
see.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Far and Away. I did not expect to like this one. I told you. I gave it 3.5 stars. I gave Born on 4th of July 3.5 stars as well.
All
I
right.
messaged you and I was like, you really put a damn period piece on my list. I was like, dude, no, this isn't going to work for me. I was like, I'm not going to like this movie. I love the boxing stuff in that movie. I love the
Right?
boxing scenes and the way he fights, like toe to toe. They put the
Yeah,
line.
like step up to the line kind of fighting.
Yep.
It's love this movie, so I'm glad it's at least right in the middle for you,
Yeah.
somewhat.
And it's 3.5 because
Three
it's
and a
a
half's good.
little long. And after, I don't want to spoil anything, but after they kind of split apart for a little bit, it starts to kind of slowly like not loses me, but there's like just like 20 to 30 minutes that I think that when they're together, the movie works so well
Yeah,
because
the chemistry.
their chemistry is on fire. I mean, Tom Cruise is starting to really move up the ranks on like my favorite actors too. I'm really like, because you put so many Tom Cruises on here anyways, but last year I also watched all 6 Mission Impossibles for the first time ever, and I never
Okay.
seen any of them. So like he's definitely starting to move up the ranks. But let's see who has seen Far and Away, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about it some more.
Yes.
Okay, here. Hey, Johnny Defoe ain't done yet. Fish says, I like Far and Away. Martinez Joe says, laugh out loud, Far and Away. Miss Jess is in the chat, says Far and Away. Wow, forgot about that.
Yeah.
I love the part too when he goes to shoot the shotgun and he just backfires on him, and oh my
And
goodness.
and him using an accent, it's the whole movie. It's kind of it's fun. So.
Funny and when she goes to peek, like it's funny because you go to Letterbox and like people just like to make one-liners. So if you look at the comment section on Letterbox, somebody was like, she saw his penis and she couldn't like resist. She saw his penis one time and she was hooked.
Right.
Or she saw his penis and moved to the US with him, like, or something like that. But yeah, because
they were
she's
together,
like,
right? In real
he
life.
lifts up the blanket, and he's like, whoa.
Yeah, it was the bowl. Like the bowl. They have like a
Yeah, the bowl. Exactly. Far and Away. Yep. Exactly. I love Far and Away. Fish says. Tiana says Far and Away is so good. Far and Away was a great story. Far and Away is a good one. It's movie time. I'll catch the rest on replay. Bye, Bonnie. I have seen Far and Away, but I actually enjoyed it. It is longer, but the ending of the movie was fantastic. And the ending is great. And I love I'm not going to spoil the ending per se, but the camera work at the end. And I think it's Ron Howard, right?
Yeah. Ron Howard.
You know how the camera floats away?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I thought that was it. And then it floats back. The camera zooms and spins back in.
Right.
Yeah, don't spoil that, but
I
like
know I'm not.
what I'm talking about. You
I know what I'm
obviously
talking about. Yeah, I know
but,
what you're talking about.
yeah, I was wondering if that was it though. I was like, wow, I respected it because I'm one who likes movies to not end happy. I'm totally up for sad endings and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this got me. I'm surprised, and then I was like, okay, all right, I liked it too. I liked both endings. It was fine.
Yeah, because it moved, right? Even though it's a period piece, it moves along well, and it like.
Your own wife hasn't seen Far and Away?
She hasn't seen a lot of movies, unfortunately.
That's fair. I love that it's about the Oklahoma land run. Yeah, so the run at the end, I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was so confused. I didn't know anything about that, but it was very fun to watch. And he had that messed up horse that was just had a mind of its own, but it was like the fastest horse out there.
Yeah. Yeah. He did. He does another. It's a great role for Tom. So
Tony
I can't imagine anyone else in that.
Tony says too much penis talk tonight. They were married by then. Eli says Johnny what's poppin' bud. Holland says no T and A, but a lot of D. Caveman says Far and Away was 2 hours and 20 minutes, 5 minutes shorter than the fourth, but was long enough for Nicole Kidman. And Nicole Kidman was great in it too. And like I said, I thought the chemistry worked really well. I wrote I like the chemistry and growth between Joseph and Shannon, and they used their names so much. Like they instead of Shannon, like Joseph, yeah.
Jacob.
And then she like when they're changing and stuff, and he's trying to get a peek at her, and she's trying to like, and then he puts his clothes on, and she's like, "Darn it!"
Right, and they're satisfied with just like the top of the ass crack or like the shadow of a it's like that's what was like. Oh, remember Shannon showing her ankle, like Shannon, you're showing your ankles or whatever.
Yeah,
on the boat, like those two like Aristocat like dudes, they're like stopping to check out her ankles. So I guess it's come a long way on what we look at now. So
I wanted to write. Okay, so Tom Cruise's character reminds me of my mom's husband. He's like straight off the boat from Ireland, and he is one of those people. So you know how when I love the scene when Tom Cruise is like, "This is how you need to clean." He's like, "Scrub, wash." He's like, "Scrub it," and he does all that. It reminds me of my mom's husband a ton because he's like he has no problems getting his hands dirty. He's like, get in there, you got to get your hands dirty kind of thing. And that's how Tom Cruise is in it. And it's just, and then I love how it comes together at the end too, because then she's teaching her mom how to wash clothes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, scrub.
Yeah, it's like plunge, scrub, and then
So he's like,
right.
yeah,
then you got to do it again or whatever.
yeah.
It's got a lot of great scenes. It's a good movie though.
It's a really fun one. It is. It's not boring either. I probably wrote that on here. Like, I had some great genuine laughs too. Like, I always talk about when you're watching a movie and you try to laugh, you know how like something's funny and you're like, okay, I'm supposed to laugh, and so you kind of chuckle, versus like something that genuinely makes you laugh from like your gut, and you're just like, okay, that was funny. Far and Away had a lot of moments where I was genuinely like chuckle. The movie's engaging. It's not boring at all. I wrote, I was totally engaged in the story and growth of the characters. I really liked how the movie took place over the course of like, I think it was a couple of years, or like at least 2 years. And
it had to be.
It was a lot of.
It had at least a year, at least. Like, so.
One thing I wrote was how quickly people can turn on you when you're no longer worth anything to them, basically. Like when he, like the way they looked at him, like he was dead to them, you know, and they were just like, they just threw him to the ground. He lost everything, and he was winning that fight, and it was that stupid douchebag who had to put his arms around her, or touch her, or whatever he did, and then he started to get his butt kicked in that
strawberry tart. I'd feel better if I had some strawberry tart. Yeah, if you're on top and then you're not. So that's at any moment. So you could be on top and then you're not. And that's that's what happens.
Caveman, rub and plunge. Rub a dub dub dub. Caveman says, hi Corey. What's up, Joe? Hey Joe. Hi Joe. Johnny and Mizzy. Anyone able to find any of these $5 4K steel books at Walmart? I was able to grab 3. I didn't have. I had all of them, all those Lionsgate ones, so I didn't need them. Right. What's unfortunate for people like me or Tony or anybody that buys day one, who bought all those Lionsgate steel books day one, and then they were $5.
They're $5.
Yeah. But you ready to move on to number 5?
Yeah.
This was the first one I watched on your list. It was all the way back in August. So this was an older one. Here we go. You ready? Heartbreak Ridge, number 5. I gave it 3.5, a very high 3.5. I love Clint Eastwood. He's one of my favorite actors, favorite director, both. I love Clint Eastwood. I had a conversation with you about that when Tim was doing his 70s list, preparing it. And he is very I don't want to say very unlikable in this. He's an asshole. Kind of like I feel like I related to Clint Eastwood. He's like an angry old man yelling at the cloud, kind of like how that goes. That's how I am. I'm very like cranky. I feel like I'm a cranky old man who's just like straight to the point, and I'm like, I ain't got time to waste. Like, and that's how he comes off. And he's okay. Let me just put it this way, though: if you're very political, or you're like a very politically correct person, like if you're PC, this is definitely not the movie for you, because he's brutal. And
Clint would just spit in your face.
Yes. Yeah. So I wrote memorable quotes. Like, he had so many memorable quotes. I think there was like 10 I wrote down. They're all on Google. You could find them, but he had so many memorable quotes. Let me see if I could find one of them. But go ahead and talk about the movie, and I'll find some of these. Quotes.
I had a feeling it would be kind of high because I know you like, Clint Eastwood, and this movie is Clint Eastwood. He produced it, he directed it, he starred in it. It should be just called Clint Eastwood. Because it's like 90% him. Like every scene has him in it. It seems like, like all those quotes, like in his gritty like Clint Eastwood voice. He just who did he? It was on Mario Van Peebles, I think. He was like the other lead, like
he's in it. Yeah,
Recon in the Recon Patrol. So he was just bagging on him the whole movie. I kind of like their chemistry together. How they become almost friends, like buddies towards the end when they first at first they hated each other because he stole,
Yeah.
took something from him. But yeah, uh,
I
I
gotta
enjoyed it.
rewatch this one already. It's so 80s. It has every vibe of like as far as the feels 80s aesthetic to it. Or older. It obviously takes place earlier. Like I said, so quotable. Not it's definitely not for sensitive people. I put. But the ending, like the war, was very, very interesting. I've never seen a war movie shot like that. Like it's not the way
Yeah.
it's shot. It just isn't he like smoking a cigar in the middle of like a battle? I
Well,
think he
like
like
towards the end, and it's not. I don't even call it. It's more of like a skirmish or a scrimmage or something. What do you call this? Like,
that's what so I would have given the movie 4 and it was high. And then the last 20 minutes, like the war, it I don't want to say it took me out of it, but I was like, this is not quite working for me. This just does not feel it didn't feel real, I guess. It was very awkward
yeah,
to watch, actually.
right. That's the only part really I don't like is the ending, like
Yeah.
how it kind of goes there. It's almost like he was like they had to wrap it up somehow, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
we don't have a war or anything to go to. We can't just keep doing boot
Hmm.
camp or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like rushed and pointless
Yeah.
and like, okay, uh, yeah, it's more like
Yeah.
an exercise, but
Here's one of the funny quotes though. He says, "You can rob me, you can starve me, you can beat me, and you can kill me. Just don't bore me."
yeah, when he's in
But you
jail.
gotta like when he says it in his voice, and then he's like, it means by be advised that I'm mean, nasty, and tired." But he's a badass in it, man. Like he is such a badass.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't fuck with Gunny in there. I was like, yes, sir. Like
Yep. Yeah,
they
he
don't have
beats
to find their
I love when he
sheriff.
beats the hell out of that one guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the other staff sergeant or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I love when he says, I eat concertina wire and piss napalm, and I can put a round in a flea's ass at 200 meters. So why don't you go hump somebody else's leg before I push yours in?
Yeah, that's that's Clint in this movie. Like
Yep.
every 2 seconds, it's a one-liner. He's saying something smart, like, and then just another one, just another scene of that. Like it, the whole movie up to the ending. So I can
Yep.
see why it's in the middle.
He's a bit of like a racist in it. Clint's just being Clint in it, really. Especially in the 70s and 80s. That's just I mean, if you got to go watch some other Clint movies to understand who Clint is, a little bit about Clint. But yeah, I love the dad, Robert Prowski. I got 7 of the steel books. Only one of my Walmarts had them. Um, I ended up looking like a maniac running through Walmart with 15 steelbooks stacked up in my arms. I got a bunch of the $5 steelbooks. They were supposed to come to stores today. One closest to me had a bunch, but other had none. Joe says, I love Heartbreak Ridge. Not ever seen this
Yes.
one. Fish, I do recommend this one. Jane says, Clint, can't go wrong with anything he's done. Thank you. I like Jeff's mom because she's a Clint Eastwood fan. So if you're not a Clint Eastwood fan, you could respectfully leave my stream because I have zero respect. Um, I I actually honestly like all jokes aside, I would understand why people don't like Clint Eastwood. Like especially if you're younger and you never watched his older stuff,
Yeah.
he would, or if you do watch his older stuff and you're very sensitive, he's really gonna bother you, especially in some of his older stuff in the 70s. He
Or
does
like a
some
movie
pretty
like this. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Get off my lawn. Yep, the Swede movie warehouse says, haha, I don't think he said that
Swede.
in Heartbreak Ridge, but it would be funny if he did. LMAO, gotta love a movie list of movies added to my Amazon list now. Get off my battlefield before the Torino and lawn. My living room's full of movies I need to watch now, thanks to all of you guys. Yep, that's how it goes. That's why I love these streams. Good
Yep.
problems to have though, film addiction and true. Okay, that's pretty much everything I wrote down for that. Anything else you wanted to say? We're going to start to get into some higher stars because the rest of them are all, that was, like I said, 3.5. Would have been 4 if it wasn't for the ending. The rest are all 4 and above.
Yeah. When I'm looking at what's left right now, I'm not surprised, and then I am surprised. So,
You got to be surprised
so
with the one so far, right?
what? What One of them, yeah, I
You
don't want to
you
talk spoil it,
you
but yeah,
you said to me, and I'm staring right at it right now. You were like, I don't know why I added this. You're gonna watch it and be like, why the fuck did he add this on my list? You said I wasn't gonna like. You were like, I don't know why I
yeah,
added it.
that's why, and that's why I'm like, I think that's probably what I'm surprised about. I think, but yeah, Heartbreak Ridge is kind of right where I think, you know, well, you'll see later, but I
Do
had a
you
feeling
think
because I know
do you
Clint
think
was
the
high,
one
so.
that you were like, I don't know why I added this? Do you think that's coming up soon?
Well, well, yeah, I think so. I'm gonna be surprised if it's your number one, or I'm gonna be like, what? Whoa. Uh,
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. See, I love
yeah,
the surprise of. And so in case people in the chat, what Johnny Watching says, I remember hearing at one point that Stallone wanted Clint to appear in one of the Expendables movies. I
oh,
would
that
have
would have
liked
been
that.
awesome.
Even if you don't like Clint Eastwood as an actor, he's an amazing director. Absolutely. Couldn't agree
Yeah,
more. And one thing I wanted to tell people, so I'm going to spoil a little spoiler into the last four here, but people probably came into tonight, um, two of the biggest raunchy comedy fans, right? And probably thought Adam recommended 10 titty movies or booby movies, right?
yeah.
Funny thing is, and I'm trying to think, and I don't think, and I'm like 99% sure that not one of the movies, not even Fortress, I don't think there's a single breast shown in any of the 10 movies you recommended.
No, I mean you get like a hat, like I said, shadow or a half a
Yeah.
lip, like, but not full
But you
on.
get some Tom Cruise butt crack, and that's about it.
Yeah, you get a little butt crack,
Yeah.
you know, and
But that's the thing
references,
is,
but
I think who was I talking to about this recently? Like, don't get me wrong, you and I both love our raunchy comedies, but there's more to
yeah,
it than that, right? Like more than movies, right? Um,
right.
I love raunchy comedies, I do, and there's some really good raunchy comedies out there that aren't just about boobs and all that stuff. And I'll dive into that some other day. But I I love my raunchy comedies and all that stuff, but I think people like to tend to sometimes pigeonhole people into a certain category, or that's all they are, or you get,
Yeah.
and there's a lot more to it. And like I was very happy that, because even like no horror movies on this list, not one.
Nope.
I was like, what are you doing here? And you were like, I want to think different outside the box. So but you
Yeah,
did good,
because
man. You did
yeah,
very good.
I still love my exploitation. I still love gore and horror and
Mhm,
TNA. All those movies are still great, but there's more to me than that. So this
mhm,
was great to be able to show you some other movies that I've watched that I enjoy. There's tons more, but this is a good example. Yeah, like you just said, it's not even about
the ankles
those.
are
It's
too much.
these movies are about
Um,
like the movie. It's not about like just showing, some girl in a shower.
First thing.
You know.
Laugh Aloud Holland. Hopefully she shaves her ankles. We're still on the ankle showing. Okay. All right. Number four. Let's get into it. The lower the list goes, the one you're going to be surprised by, because it's not number four. It is going to be Escape from Alcatraz. Loved it. Gave it 4 stars for number four. This movie kicks ass. It is awesome. And I ended up reading, because I was doing some research on this movie recently. Not that I recently watched it, because I have the Kino 4K, but there was like another escape. I can't remember what prison, but they did the same exact thing that they did in Escape from Alcatraz. The way they escape is exactly what some people did. Like I believe soon after this movie or something like that. I'm not sure, but people have used exactly what they did in Escape from Alcatraz to escape, and that's just wild. But
It was a
this
good
movie
method. So
this movie kicks ass. Another Clint Eastwood. He's awesome in it. He's a badass again in this one, in prison this time. The movie, I believe, just cut straight to prison. There's no backstory at all whatsoever, really. There's
yeah,
nothing.
I don't even know why he was in prison, to be honest. Can't
Yeah,
remember.
there's no beginning. He says in the movie, and I can't remember. I don't think I have it written down. Let me see where. I just wrote Clint Eastwood in caps locks. The camera work was awesome. Love the camera
Yeah.
work in it. Great directing. The characters were awesome. I really liked the characters. And it was super suspenseful. And I love the build up, that suspense at the end when they're trying to escape prison. Like obviously I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it, whether what happens at the end. But it's a great build up, and it's very well shot, it's very well directed, very well acted, and it feels like I was on the edge of my seat watching this. And
Yeah, no,
it's like
it
straightforward too. This movie doesn't, I'd like most of the movies on this list, there wasn't a whole lot of, I'm not big into like movies that try to get too clever and have a bunch of twists and turns. This movie's like really straightforward. It's like what you see is what you get with it.
yeah, and I feel that a lot of movies like that have depicted jail or prisons now, like have used Escape from Alcatraz because like the mean warden, and then like the characters that are in it, and it's just um, like it feels like I've seen scenes from Escape from Alcatraz in other movies that I've seen, watched, like Shawshank Redemption or something. Um, it's again all Clint Eastwood. It's like Clint forward, so I can see why you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It goes at a great pace too. It doesn't really, and yeah, towards the end, that build up. That's another reason I liked it too. I don't want to spoil it either. And it's not for everyone. I could say. I mean, it's not like very action
It's not
filled
a
or
lot of action, but it's not
yeah,
boring. Like
right,
I'm not like a lot. That's the funny thing too, is I think Tim, for example, oftentimes thinks if it's slow, Bob's not going to like it, which is, here's the thing though. It's funny because there's people that love a slow moving movie, like Tim has no problem with a slow moving movie. But then I'll watch something really slow and he'll watch that same movie and he'll be like, that was boring. Right. So, like, at the end of the day, depends on like, because to me, slow isn't boring. Boring is boring. Like, slow doesn't mean it needs to be boring. It's a matter of like, because I guess if you're invested, you know what I mean? Like I was
right.
gripped, I was engaged, I was invested. And if you're engaged in a movie, I feel like no matter how slow it is, as long as you're engaged, it's not going to matter. Like if the movie hooks you, like a book.
And especially
Right.
for not having a lot of dialogue. The movie doesn't like towards the end. There's
Mhm.
barely a word spoken. There's a few, but I mean, it's just straightforward. But you get like sucked in, and you want to see what happens. Um, and I like, was it Burt Ward or something? I think who else was in it? Remo Williams' character, I think. But uh, there had another character or two in it that I enjoy in other movies. So I think it was maybe him. Maybe it was Burt Ward. I have to look. But
Fred Ward, you're talking about.
Fred Ward, that's it. Fred Ward. Yeah,
Yeah.
from like
Rest
Tremors
in
2
peace.
and Tremors. Yeah, a young Fred Ward. So I like him and
Yep.
his brother that were in
Very
it.
young in it.
So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. I like
those
that.
characters and
That's what I meant by I love the characters in it. They did a really good job with character development. You also care a lot for some of the characters. So,
yeah,
in a
except
movie
for the
like this,
warden. Except for the warden.
no, but in a movie like this, you definitely have to care for the characters. I love the scenes where they're like, he's chiseling away at the wall. And then also the scenes where he's like he's got to check it out and get a blueprint of it, so to speak. And he has the mold of his face. And it's like, I was just so engaged and gripped by those scenes. I was like, is he gonna is the security guard gonna see? Like he's
Yeah,
shining the light. I was freaking out at one point in the
they
movie.
didn't rush. They didn't like they told the story like in
Hmm.
every detail they took time with.
Yeah,
Really, right? They didn't like just rush through it
it's a
because the whole
long
movie
movie.
was.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
they had
sure
to
it's
make
like
a what 2
over
hours?
2 hours, but
Yeah,
it's not like, trust me, this movie is not boring. But once again, film is so subjective. What's boring to somebody else isn't boring to you and I. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
and vice versa. Let me catch up with the chat here. Joe says why I always enjoy Adam because we are a lot alike and very diverse. Yep, I like Joe a lot. Tiana says you have the best recommendations out there. Movie Warehouse says she should have had some bigger socks. Fantastic, Clint's best film. Joe says Clint's best film. Finally seen one, Cody
All
says.
right.
Jane says, I love this one too. It's always a great time. See, she's a big Clint Eastwood fan. Never escape. The question is Jeff, John Doe Juggalo, a Clint Eastwood fan? Never seen Escape from
Hopefully.
Alcatraz. Holland Oates says Film Addiction. Same. Film Addiction says check it out. Movie Warehouse. I like Prison Break films. So I called my dad to talk about this one and my number one on this list. And I called my dad to talk about it with him. And he was like, have you seen Papillon? I believe it's called Papillon, is how you pronounce it. It might be there's also a remake, but Papillon, I believe, is like Dustin Hoffman and Steve McQueen. It's 1977, early 70s or it's late
I know
60s.
what movie you're talking about, but I haven't seen it.
So my dad and I were talking about Escape from Alcatraz in my number one, and he's like, "You got to see Papillon. It's even better than Escape from Alcatraz." He's like, "It's really good. Check it out." And then I didn't even know there was a remake until I talked to Tony, and Tony has the remake. I like Prison Break films. Yeah, Escape from Alcatraz is a great one. Oh, should I just ordered stuff from Kino Lorber too and didn't see that one? I didn't go through all the movies. Yeah, it's on Kino's website. Tony, you watch Prison Break the show every episode. Prison Break was good. They filmed it not too far from me in Joliet. Great TV show, especially the first 3 seasons. Prison Break was awesome. Cody only watched the first season, but it was great. Check out the other seasons. There's the event series that made later too. That was good. Yeah, watched all that stuff. Also on John Doe. Ever seen that? Nope. We got Movie Hunter in the chat saying evening everyone. Film Diction. Cody says no, I haven't. Corey, love John Doe. I recommend it often. I like me some Clint. There we go. Yep, good stuff. I think your mind went to the gutter there. Says pronounced papillon. Papillon. Okay, it means butterfly in French. Thank you. I've got to see Papillon. It's like 2 hours 40 minutes long, and it's I think late 60s. Wow. Dell says, "What's up? What's up, Dell?"
What's up, Dell?
Hey there, Movie Hunter. Yeah, my dad's like, if you've seen Escape from Alcatraz, you got to see this one. So it was fun calling my dad and talking to him about some of these movies on your list because you recommended a lot of the old school stuff. So, and I'm pretty open to watching anything. Sometimes I'll nip something in the bud. Like I'm not big into anime, so if you recommend anything anime, I will probably tell you no. That's like the only thing I won't watch. That and probably most Disney stuff. This is a PG stream. People come on, LOL. Sup, Dell, hey all. John Doe and The Pretender were 2 of my favorites for a bit. Hey, Dell. Okay. Anything else to talk about on that one? You got anything else to say?
No, another good one.
Are you surprised by these final 3?
Yeah, I was like, we got 3 left. So I'm like, one, definitely not. One, oh my, what? It's still there. And the other one, I figured it probably had a chance to be in the top 3. But
well, if I like the one, I'd probably like the other because they're similar. They're in the same boat, that courtroom drama. So we got 2 courtroom dramas coming up. Okay, let me be clear about the final 3 here before I get into it. All 3 are 4.5 stars. Near perfect films to me, in my opinion. I loved every second of these last 3, and outside of number 1, which I was pretty set on, number 2 and 3 could go back and forth every day, every second of every day. I can't make a decision on number 2 and 3. It's impossible for me to decide, but I did decide to go with this one, number 3, because number 2 left me in tears quite a few times throughout the movie. So we'll get into it. Number 3 is going to be The Rainmaker.
Oh, okay.
I loved this movie, and let me be clear, I absolutely adore Claire Danes. So you putting something with Claire Danes on my list, that's a win-win.
It was already a win. It got me a star right off the bat.
Yep. Danny DeVito is great. And Matt Damon's great and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what I got for
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. What did I say? Matt Dillon?
No. I'm just saying it's Matt Damon. Of course.
It's Matt Damon. Okay. I was like, did I say something?
That's another star right there. So
I will just run through what I said. I said super engaging. It's very fun. It is a very fun movie. It is great dialogue, incredible dialogue in my opinion, incredible cast, amazing acting. I love Claire Danes. Courtroom scenes are great. Topic of movie still relevant today, very relevant today, and Matt Damon shines like a bright light. That's everything I wrote down.
Yeah, and it's like almost like 2 stories going at the same time. They're both told well. Again, yes, the acting was spot on. Danny DeVito, I wanted more because I love Danny DeVito.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed his character as well.
But I love when he's got to take the reins because he's late.
Yeah. He's like just a smart assistant guy, but you could tell he's been around the block forever, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Was it Danny Glover the judge?
Yeah, Danny Glover is the judge. Yes.
Yeah, it just had all the and John Voight, I think, was his opposing,
And
cop.
John Voight's great in it, and he
Yeah,
is one evil. I mean, that's the
hated
thing
him.
though. In these courtroom dramas, the funny thing is, I used to, and you put a lot of westerns on my list and a lot of courtroom dramas. And I'd say about 3 years ago, you couldn't get me to watch a western. I was never into westerns. It's not my cup of tea, right? And I was never into courtroom dramas because for a long time, kind of the stereotype is Bob doesn't like slow moving movies, right? Courtroom dramas, it's very dramatic. You got to be. You also, in my opinion, in a courtroom drama, you have to be invested in the story. If you're not invested in the story, why are you gonna? You're probably not gonna enjoy it because it's like the whole point of the movie, and you're not even interested in that storyline. But I was
Yeah, if
totally
it's like
engaged.
a boring case or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now I am gonna put up to anybody who hasn't seen this movie. We're gonna dive into some spoilers here because I want to talk about the ending. So, spoilers really quick. I'll take that down when we're done talking about spoilers. But Adam, the ending, they settle and they win like $3 million or $1 million or 300, and then they go under. The business that they win goes under. Remember?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
insurance and the company, it folds because then everybody starts suing them or whatever. Like it just,
Mhm.
it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
So they ended up getting like basically nothing, if ever. But it was still a win, like a moral win
Yeah.
for what the mom, because she shut down. They had big old insurance company who shunned her, and
But
it
she dies, right?
well, he dies,
He
the
he
dude or whatever,
the
the
son
son,
is it
yeah,
was the son,
the
right? Because
plaintiff or the
I was like
defendant or
somebody I
whatever.
remember somebody dies, yeah, but it was a heartbreaking story in a way too. And then
Yeah,
like you said, you had two different stories going on at the same time because you had Claire Danes as well. And he was supposed to take on that case, and that kind of never really didn't go too much with it, but they kind of end up together
they
at the
took care of it
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Claire and him.
That was a big scene. That was very intense, and I didn't know how it was gonna all go down when that happened. See, I was like, as we talk about it, more things come to my mind here.
Right.
So I'm gonna take the spoilers off the screen if that's okay with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're done talking spoilers. But yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this movie. It's really engaging, it's gripping, it's fun. There's like two big storylines. The storylines come together perfectly.
Yeah.
They tell the story perfectly. The dialogue is amazing. Like I said, you got some really powerhouse actors in this. The judge, like you said, Danny Glover was great. And you care a lot about the characters, like the insurance case and the fraud and everything like that. You really become invested in. Like I said, I think this story is extremely relevant today.
Definitely. And how this is the way a courtroom drama should be. Like A Time to Kill or whatever. How they kind of go in the court, out of the court, in the court, out of the court. So any movie that's
Time to
done
Kill
that
is
way,
another one of my favorites. Yeah.
yeah, I think that was one of the first ones I watched, maybe, and then I started branching off and watching all of them. And when I found The Rainmaker, because it's a book, was it John Grisham? I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's like based off a book or a novel. I'm sure the book's awesome, because the movie's awesome. So, and I like how Damon narrates at times, like kind of like how he does in Rounders. He talks, but then he's
Yeah.
like the actual character. So,
Yeah.
it,
I love I maybe I'm biased here, but I thought that Claire Danes and him had great chemistry too.
yeah, I figured they would have like ended up sooner together in the movie or something, like, because they did.
Yeah.
They seemed like they worked well. Like that was going to be his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. She's not like it doesn't quite go into as much of that
right.
detail as I thought it would. Jane says The Rainmaker's an all-around excellent experience. Claire Danes in My So-Called Life. I haven't seen that one, Corey. If you make me a list, add that one on there. I've also never seen The Mod Squad. Another John Grisham book turned into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
A Time to Kill, Runaway Jury, The Firm. I have seen Runaway Jury, I believe. The Firm. I've never seen The Firm. Another Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, that one's
Yeah, never seen that.
that was not well. It's not. I don't know. It's a good, like, more thriller, I guess, to me. The
Okay.
Firm. Yeah.
Claire Danes in A Broke Down Palace. Have you ever seen Broke Down Palace?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, because I was going to say I might be writing that one down on your list. Joe, I couldn't agree more. I love Broke Down Palace, and that ending is just it's amazing. We've got Hey Movie Hunter, also The Client, The Pelican Brief. Haven't seen either one of those. The Client was one of his too. Runaway Jury with John Cusack is a great courtroom film. And see, I probably like watched courtrooms. I think I saw Runaway Jury or something else when I was probably like 8 or 9. And at 8 or 9, you're probably not gonna you're just not gonna be into courtroom dramas. But we would
Oh,
see these movies as a family and stuff like that. We actually saw High Tension as a family as well. And I was like 12 years old, and my mom was not happy with my dad.
I would think so.
A French extreme horror at like 11 or 12 years old, and as a family, my mom was. I didn't even know what the hell was going on in the beginning. Um, are you surprised by the way this list is shaped? Because there's only 2 picks left, and it is one of the titles where you were like, I don't know why I put this on your list. I think maybe that's why I liked it so much, because I went into it with absolutely zero expectations. It's a 2.5 hour movie almost, by the way. It's like 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, if I would have gone back, because with now that I'm looking at how I rank your order, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm definitely surprised. Um, but now that I'm like looking at the movies, I'm like not so much surprised.
So, what do you think is going to be 1 and 2? All right, let's see.
Well, I don't know if, well, I don't want to spoil it, but I have
Yeah.
a feeling I know which one is number one. But
Okay, let me be clear. I loved both of these movies. Loved both of these movies. And this one that I'm about to show right now, I opened up my phone for like maybe 2 minutes, looked at something on my phone. I put it away about 20 minutes into the movie, 30 minutes into the movie. In the last hour, 50 minutes, I didn't take my eyes off the screen. I didn't want to get up to go do anything. I loved this movie, and I have a lot to talk about.
all right,
Where are my notes here? This is a long list. Okay, we're going to talk about this. We are going to dive into spoilers on this one. The last 2, we will dive into spoilers. Here we go. Number 2, fried green tomatoes. Are you surprised?
uh, yeah, a little bit.
I bet you are, and I can't wait to see the chat popping off right now about fried green tomatoes, especially fish. I know he's about to. I talked to Tony about it. Mizzy was like, "What?" When he saw my 4.5 on Letterbox, he was like, "I guess I have to watch fried green tomatoes now." Philadelphia is a good one last year. You know what's funny is Mizzy
Yeah,
had
I love
messaged
Philadelphia.
me, and he goes, "Well, I know fried green tomatoes wasn't from Adam's list."
Was it?
He goes, "There's no way that was on Adam's list." Well, you got fried green tomatoes is a banger, dude. Fried green tomatoes is so good. I the movie turned over and it started to replay, and I watched the first 5 minutes of the movie again, and I didn't even I missed something in it, because when I rewatched the first 5 minutes of the movie again, she hears the train going, and she's her husband, "Did you hear that?" And he's like, "No." Or where was the train? And there was no train. Like she said, the train stopped running, she says in the middle of the movie, but she heard the train just being out there. You remember that? You
Yeah,
might not remember.
like in the wind, or whatever. Like, where'd that train at? Because and it was at Whistle Stop when nothing was. I think Whistle Stop was dead at that point, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah. And she's like hearing
Yep.
a train that's not there. So yeah, I know what
I'm
you're
old and
talking. That movie's great. So
Um, Film Addiction says, Cody says, great movie. Fried Green Tomatoes is great. Movie Hunter says, Fried Green Tomatoes was great. I'm really happy I like this one too. Loved Fried Green Tomatoes. Tawanda.
I haven't wrote that down. To Wanda.
Fried Green Tomatoes is damn good. Johnny says, I'm older and have more insurance. Tony says, Fried Green Tomatoes has a lot of good going for it, a bit of everything. Mizzy says, yeah, my mom had fried green tomatoes on VHS. Got to rewatch it. I've never seen fried green tomatoes. Dell, you got to get on it. Wendy's never seen fried green tomatoes. That one
Okay.
I'm not okay with, Wendy. That one I'm not really okay with.
I'll make her
So
watch it.
please do, because I'm not really. I'd laugh if she didn't like it. Fried Green Tomatoes 1991 is on Netflix. Okay, so what I wrote, super likable characters. You had me in tears like 3 different times in this damn movie, Adam. I was at one point really, really got the waterworks going too, in like 1 or 2 scenes. I was like, "What is Adam doing to me, dude? How did I end up crying during Fried Green Tomatoes?" But this movie's so good. It's so good. I was totally invested. It is so well written. The movie got better as it went on, in my opinion. It went from like, this movie's really good, to it's great, to this movie is so good, to it just kept getting better. It's very few times in that I watch a movie where I'm just like, how does this movie keep one upping itself? It keeps getting better as the story was told, and it keeps coming together. And I'm usually not a fan of movies where somebody's telling you a story and then they're present time and they're going back. I'm usually not a fan of that. I was like, I'm not going to like this movie. And it just kept getting better. It was so good. Can we talk about the Friends, though? I had to Google it because if you haven't seen this movie, we're going to dive into some spoilers here really quick, okay? I had to Google it because there's a book for it, right? So
for Fry Green, I'm sure there is.
yeah. So what is her name? Ginny, right? It was hold on here. Where are my notes? I know they're somewhere, but the character, the old woman, which was like, is she? It's not specified if she is
Iggy or Iggy or
Iggy, yeah. Who was played by Mary Stuart Masterson, right?
yeah. So Jessica Tandy telling the story, like
It it
as
it doesn't specify, and then also when I looked it up online, people like to believe that her and her friend were really in love with each other romantically. People view the story as that. A lot of people viewed it that they were together romantically,
I don't
like lesbians.
like so Iggy and I think it was Rose maybe.
Rose, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
didn't view it like I didn't view it like that. I
no.
don't like it's not to say I don't like I I don't like if that's the way the story is, I don't like it. I
I didn't get that.
love that it works because of their friendship. I think the friendship
Yeah.
makes that movie so much better. I look at some of my friends and I'm just like, I want that. You know what I mean? Like they were best friends through and through.
That's what I took it as, that they were just, it was a bond as a friendship, not as like they were in love with each other. They didn't
If you
even,
look it up, I think in the book they hint at it more.
well, maybe that's why, because movies are loosely based, book, like they take
Yeah.
liberties from a book, so I'm sure they didn't want to focus on that. And they even gave like Rose a husband, and then the other guy that kept pursuing, like the guy that kept pursuing Iggy or whatever. So they kind of had like, look, they weren't like together. So
Let's see here.
yeah, I didn't
Okay.
get them as a like a romantic couple.
Wendy says sorry. Fish says, "Come on now, Kathy Bates, Jessica Tandy, Mary Stuart Masterson, and Mary Louise Parker. And don't forget Chris O'Donnell. I couldn't believe he
Yeah,
was gone. Right, that was sad, heartbreaking. Kathy Bates, I wrote down. I think she gives. This might be my favorite performance next to Misery, but everybody talks about Misery and talks about all these other movies. Kathy Bates gives like the performance of a lifetime in this movie. She is dynamite, absolutely
right.
dynamite. And she's funny as hell in this. She is hilarious with her candy and she's hiding the
In the
candy.
saran wrap, uh, like she was willing to get saran wrap dress or whatever. Like, yeah, she's hilarious. She's
She's
great.
so good. I
Taking
love
the
that the
wall
end
out.
too, when she thinks she died and she's like, and then she finds out she didn't. She's like, oh, it was the other woman. Yes. She's
Right.
like, oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry. And it's just, oh my gosh, it's perfect.
Taking all the flowers down, the wallpaper.
I wrote down Ninny helped change Evelyn's life. And she says it. She says to her, "You changed my life." If you remember, she says to her husband, "She's coming to live with us," and he's like, "No, you don't understand. Like this isn't gonna happen." And she's like, and then she says to her, or I think she says to her husband, she's like, "She changed my life." She tells her it too, though. You changed my life.
Yeah, you can see Kathy Bates' character evolving throughout the movie. She was like a weak, couldn't do anything for herself, relied on her husband. Well, she just fed her husband and housewife only, and now she wanted to just she was doing like what like classes, and she was just getting out and seeing
Yeah.
the world now because of
I love when she's like,
the
I gotta go to the
stories.
gym now. She leaves, and
Yeah, yeah, going to the gym.
when he comes home and he's like, "Where's dinner?" and she's like, "It's not here."
Yeah, cook it yourself.
Yeah,
So
cook it
she
yourself.
evolves from the
Yep.
stories. Like she gains confidence, and and
She's
Tandy,
she's
yeah,
not Iggy, and yes, the book deals with their relationship in a different way. Yeah, a lot of people were like, "Is she Iggy?" Because they almost make subtle hints at it. It seems like at the end with the
right.
where there's a rose on her tombstone at the end or whatever, or not a rose.
The honey, the bee
It's the
charmer.
honey, the jar of honey. That gave me my
Yeah,
girl flashbacks, by the way, that scene. Jessica Tandy was in so many great films during those years. Jessica Tandy's the senior, the old lady. I
hmm
loved her so much. I adored her character. I sit down with her for like 8 hours and just talk. I would seriously do that.
yeah.
I understood why it's
That's the other reason I liked the movie because I liked when I was growing up storytelling. I love anybody tell me a story uh, from any older people. I would just get locked in and engaged in it. So with that
Mhm,
being the premise of the movie, like storytelling, is another reason I love it.
mhm.
And each story she tells was
And
better and better, like you said. It just kept getting better.
and Fried Green Tomatoes has a tiny bit of courtroom drama in it, a scene. But I love that when I was watching it, I didn't know if they would explain what happened to her husband, or her baby daddy, basically Rose's baby daddy, the father, of her kid. I didn't know if they would go back and explain that. I thought they might just leave it as like, you don't need to know what happened to him. We don't need to know. And I don't
Yeah.
think we really needed to. And I was like, if they don't go back and explain this, I'm okay with that. But the way they went back and explained it was so perfect. It was so well told. It was surprising and it was well done. And did they cook his body, by the way? They imply that.
Right. That best
They
barbecue around for
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I
They
like
definitely
when movies do that though. Like they give you just enough. Like they let you think about it. Like what could is that what
yeah.
happened or
Author
did that?
Fanny Flagg is the woman telling the classroom of disaffected women, you can't get those that spark back into your marriage. Mary Stuart Masterson did all those bee stunts herself because her stunt double quit at the last minute. Oh wow. Oh yes, guy, I loved Fanny Flagg from way back. It's all in the sauce. Yep, that's what he said. It's all in the sauce. I love Mary Stuart Masterson in this, by the way. I mean, I think the first movie I ever saw with Mary Stuart Masterson, which is another classic, probably my favorite John Hughes movie, by the way. Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh
You never seen Some Kind of Wonderful?
no, no. I've seen with the
Okay.
Eric Stoltz and
Yeah, yeah.
drummer.
Liam Thompson, right?
Yeah,
My dad showed me that when I was really young, so I was always into that one.
I
What's the
like that. I
perfect
like
movie
that one.
night snack in your opinion? Infinite Character says. Perfect movie night snack. I don't know, those new nerd rope bite things are pretty good. Nerd clusters. I like those. I kind of got enjoy those lately. Um, what else did I write? Oh, I loved Big George played by Stan Shaw.
Yeah,
Loved
yeah.
him.
Cooking barbecue and
Yep.
he was in all. He was with them since what like childhood. Uh,
Yep. Touches on racism. Touches on some racism. I love Some Kind of Wonderful. Some Kind of Wonderful is so good. Yep. Totally agree. Let's see here. Oh, geez. I'm looking. I lost my place here. Okay, there we go. Where was it? Okay, yeah. I had everything comes together so perfectly. In the beginning, she hears a train, but no train's there. The growth of debates character, true power of best friends, just such a strong bond. It's heartbreaking. It's so well done. Those scenes, the emotional scenes. Did you tear up watching this?
no, but I could see why
No.
like you would maybe because I
Oh,
mean this is I've seen this movie like a bunch of
I
times.
couldn't
So
hold it, dude. I was trying not to. Nerd clusters are like crack. See, dude, yeah, they're like new. They are like crack. Um, it it really. I was trying to hold back the tears, man. I was like, "What am I doing? What has Adam got me doing here, dude?"
yeah, and it's female forward. I mean, like all the main actresses, it's got a lot of female actresses in
Yeah,
it. So you wouldn't think a guy
I
like
just
me or
didn't
you would be loving this
know.
movie. and it's good.
Dude,
It's good.
I'm so glad I own it. I have it only comes with the extended cut. So if you buy the Blu-ray, it was $5.99 on Groove. I
Longer the
try
better. Longer the better.
I try every time I watch fried I try every time I watch fried green tomatoes, not the good fish, the nerd clusters or whatever. Okay. Yeah, Ruth named her son Buddy Jr. I also wrote that down. The jar of honey on Ruth's tombstone at the end. That's another thing I wrote down. Script came together perfectly. Excellent story and storytelling. The movie got better as it went on, and super likable characters. You love all the characters.
Yeah.
Anything you want to touch on before I get into number one?
No, I agree. I'm glad you liked it. To be honest, that was the one I was a little surprised or worried about because
There seems
but
to
I'm like,
always
Bob
be
likes his chick flicks, but you know,
there always seems to be a surprise on these lists because, and that's the beauty of movies, right? Like I was messaging Fish on my way home from the movie because I had just seen Someone Like You today, and I was like, I was telling him, I was like, this is a movie that Mizzy would absolutely hate. Like it is not his type of, like, I just know that. You know how you start to get to know your friends. I was like, but then again, you never know. Like those, sometimes there's that off chance that you think somebody's gonna hate something and they might not. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So you never know, but usually you start to get to know. What I love about these lists is I feel like the people watching, but also you, like once you watch my 10 I give you, you could give me another 10, and we get to know each other's taste more. And there's like this series of What Did I Just Watch can go forever because there's a never ending amount of movies. All it takes is some time to think,
lots.
what have they not seen? And so I was telling Mizzy, because I know Tony thought I was going to recommend something based on somebody else's list. And I was like, no, I don't want to overlap. Like I never want to recommend something to somebody because you recommended it to me. If they're watching the stream, they could go and watch it right now. I want to put my own effort into recommending stuff just like all of you guys. So I never want to overlap and do the same movie, if that makes sense. Because there's enough movies to not have to do that. There should be no point in doing that.
Yeah, there's a
I,
lot.
I love, like I said, my game nights. But at the end of the day, I love doing this because there's not a whole lot of thought, there's not a whole lot of effort that goes into these streams other than having to upload the clips, or not clips, but like the poster and the number one, the ranking. Outside of that, it's just ranking them and watching them, which isn't hard to do. Like that's the fun part. And I can't express enough how much I love coming across a movie that you would never ever watch otherwise. My number one, I would have watched at some point someday, but I don't know if I ever would have watched Fried Green Tomatoes unless somebody said you got to watch this.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think you would have
in
gravitated towards this.
Fortress, I would have never. I don't. I've never heard of that, and I like it.
Yeah,
Never heard of Maverick.
especially
Doesn't have a Blu-ray either. So like, I love doing these streams, and I'm probably gonna do them more often. Like, and I think it makes it fun because then it splits the game nights up. And then I'm also gonna sprinkle in a remembering series of actors that have passed away. I got Alan Arkin coming up in May, but I think it makes it 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 makes it less oversaturated. I think the thing about my tournaments, and I'm always straight up, like my tournaments I was running in September and October last year, I got so bored of them. Like I'm honest, right? And they're my own streams, right? I thought they started to suck. There was still people watching, people tuned in, but like I think the thing about being a host and creating content is you need to be honest with yourself and know when it's time to like either take a break or move on from something. Don't beat a dead horse into the ground, or you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just milk it for all it's worth, and like you sometimes got to find a new avenue, a new revenue, whatever it is. And it's like, so I really like splitting these What Did I Just Watch up with like in between the game nights, so that you're not
new
doing a
one,
game night
new series.
every week and it's like, oh, there's the same shit again on Bob's channel. It's like I feel that. And I was telling, who was I just telling? Sue the other night. I was like, I don't have a lot of time. I work, and when I'm not working, I want to watch movies. And so I'm like, if you're not putting out, look, this is going to sound really harsh, but this is how I am, right? Straight to the point. If you want me to watch your live stream, it has to be really good, because if I'm in my apartment, I'm probably not going to catch live streams. I have to be driving and then I'll listen to your stream. But if I'm at my apartment, I'm 99% chance going to put on a movie and not watch a live stream. So it's like, if I'm watching your live stream, it's probably like, it's just who I am though, right? Like I don't have a lot of time, so I don't want to spend it watching a live stream. But that's why I put a lot of pride and effort into creating content, because it's like, hey, I wouldn't want to be watching this, and I sure as shit wouldn't keep watching if it wasn't good. So
yeah, time's valuable. So
yeah, it really is, man. And so that's why when it comes to the people like Jane Doe Letty here in the chat, Fish the Film Collector, Mizzy, the ones who watch every one of your live streams, it's like, that's a lot of dedication. Cody, even the replays. Like I'll listen to replays because I could listen because I drive all day for the most part. So I listen. So I love interview type of stuff because then I could just listen. If I have to watch a stream, I can't.
a little hard, yeah, to drive.
Exactly. I'll get in the car. So never know, Bob, never know. Adam, you are one of those swap meet physical media collecting legends. And I'm saying this is an appreciation to your channel. Keep it up, good sir. And if you're not subscribed to him, he is in the description down below. Bob, can we get another dodgeball movie game in the future? Yeah, absolutely. And I know he wanted to be on one in the future. It's always fun hanging in the chats. Sometimes I'll like do stuff in the background and I'll put it on. But yeah, I shoot straight though. Like I'm always going to say stuff that bothers people. Like I know that. That's why I said I'm like Clint Eastwood. I'm like an old cranky man who yells at the cloud. Hates kids under the age of 30.
Right? Take it or leave it.
It's just how I am. And exactly, I'm going to shoot straight with you. And you're not, I piss a lot of people off. I get that. But it is what it is to me. I don't know. Sorry if you're sensitive. Okay, moving on to number 1. Are you ready for it? You know what it is.
Well, yeah. Well, obvious, yes. But yeah.
We got a few good men here. Demi Moore. Thank you, Fish, for pronouncing her name correctly. I'm always in the chat. She sure is. What's there not to say? Like A Few Good Men is about as good as it gets. Let me. I wanted to do this before I clicked that. Damn it. Where's My Few Good Men?
Your notes.
Yeah, right
you worked
here.
so hard to pull them up, so you better have them.
Where was it? I'm gonna rip the eyes out of your head and piss in your dead skull. Is got to be one of the best quotes you will
Jack
ever
Nicholson.
hear. When he says, "I'm gonna wait," it's not my life. What's she saying? What's that, Wendy? She said, "Wait, it's not my life?" Question mark.
Oh my, that's her. That's the Michael Keaton movie. That
My Life.
That's her favorite one ever.
Okay.
Is My Life. On another recommendation stream, we'll put that in there for you.
Have I seen that one? Yeah, you really went with the truth. You can't handle the truth, Fish says. Yes, so deserves to be number 1. Nicholas says you can't handle the truth. I just watched A Few Good Men a few weeks ago. Always good to watch. Surprised you never seen A Few Good Men. Never seen it. You want me on that wall? You need me on that wall. That ending, the film, yep. The ending is perfect. That courtroom scene, it is so good. And he's like, "We're not going to win." Like, and he just gets him to. He just, man, that scene is so good. The back and forth. He's like, you want the truth? He's like, you can't handle. He's like, I demand the truth, or I require. I think he says, I demand the truth. Yeah. He's like, you can't handle the truth. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Because you could see where Tom was like baiting him up to that point, and then he turns to like his counsel, and he's like, they're like don't do it. And he's like, you could see in his eyes, like, I'm gonna go for it right here. Like, I'm about to go for it.
Yeah, he's like, well, he almost walks away, yeah, and he just goes all in. I love it. Like, you gotta love it.
Yeah, and the buildup of that movie too, because it tells the story well and very detailed, and Tom Cruise with Demi Moore, like they work well together in this movie. Is so.
Tell says you can't handle the truth. Yep.
And that scene alone, though, it's like the ending of this movie is so good.
So on my notes here, I put in bold caps locks, acting, just acting with an exclamation point. Just, yeah. You also got James Marshall in this, who is one of the kids. Like, he's on the stand, basically, him and I can't remember who the other actor was. Ending courtroom scene, I just put acting and writing. Directing was on point. Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise at the end, the back and forth dialogue. everyone just acts their asses off. I put excellent dialogue throughout the movie. It was captivating, kept me engaged and entertained. I wasn't bored at all. And then I wrote that I'm gonna rip the eyes out of your head and piss in your dead skull. Uh, Excellent direction and a lesson or two to be learned here for sure. And then the ending, the Marine realizing they did do wrong and they were supposed to protect those who couldn't protect themselves, stand up for those, he says. And I thought that was really emotional and hit hard when he says that. He's like, we did. He's like, I did. When he confesses and they realized that they were wrong. And
Right.
they were like, we were supposed to protect those who couldn't protect themselves.
They were supposed to fight for Willie,
Yes.
instead of doing what they were like, just following orders.
Kevin Bacon was great too. Yes,
Yeah.
he was so good. Noah Wiley and Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland was he was an asshole in this, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. As an early birthday gift for me, you two can give me an underrated film pick. Thank you kindly. Oh, that'd be a tough one. Hard Target, Hollow Man, Breakdown with Kurt Russell. Highly recommend all those. Seen them all, and I enjoyed them all. Hard Target's a blast. Yeah. Yeah, that's everything I wrote down for A Few Good Men. But go ahead if you wanted to touch on it some more.
No, that's exactly it. It's another one of those courtroom dramas that go in and out of the courtroom.
Mhm.
Like keeps you engaged when they're looking, like trying to figure out the facts of the case. Like trying to see if they're innocent or not. I love I love the "you can't handle the truth" scene, um, but it's not like the whole movie. But like that you only have to say that scene and everyone knows what it is. So this movie is very recognizable, based on that one quote alone. I was surprised you hadn't seen it either. Like when someone commented
Mhm.
earlier. I'm so glad you finally have seen it.
I
I can see
love
why.
this
Number one.
the long sleepless nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they were up all night pulling those all nighters. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
with
was
his
just
baseball bat, his like lucky baseball
yeah,
bat, and so it's just
love how
well
he
done,
walks around with that bat.
right? And it's not like
It's made nice.
heavy military because they're military, lawyers or whatever these people are. But he's in the Navy or something. I don't remember what he is, what branch. But it doesn't like focus a
Ooh,
lot on that.
I got an underrated pick for infinite character. I just thought of it. How about Antoine Fisher?
How about Just Cause? If you haven't seen Just Cause with
Just
Sean
Cause.
Connery
Have
and
you seen Antoine Fisher?
yeah,
Antoine Fisher is so good. It's another kind of it's not a courtroom drama, but that's a good one though. Jane says, Bob, I really enjoy your content because you keep it fresh and fun. I have a hard time watching lives, but you keep it interesting. Game nights have been great. I appreciate that. And I've told you 1,000 times, I've told Mizzy, especially when you're friends with somebody really close, give your friends, like KB's very good at that. Like he's very upfront with me. I have a ton of respect for that. And he gives constructive criticism. And I appreciate that because it's like, that's how you grow. And when you create content, that's how you're going to get better at it, is having people tell you what sucked. And you better have some thick skin. And don't ask for advice if you can't handle it.
can handle the truth.
Yeah, can't handle the truth, right? I've never seen Hollow Man 2. I didn't even know there was a Hollow Man 2. It wasn't that bad. Great stream. Awesome list, Adam. Peace. Work in the AM. Later, Cody. We got Joe saying underrated. I would recommend General's Daughter with John Travolta. Okay. I went to go. It only got a DVD. I do want to
That's a
watch
good one.
I've never seen that one.
It has a Blu-ray, General's Daughter.
Does it?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, okay. I almost went to go watch it the other day, and I did not. It has a Blu-ray?
Yeah.
It's in
It was
America?
it was on sale for like $5.99 through Best Buy a couple months ago. So that's how I picked it up. It's awesome. It's also a great book
It
because
does have a Blu-ray. Gosh,
I know. I actually read that book before I watched the
it's only
movie.
$7.99. I gotta buy that right now.
Yeah, see, still super cheap. That's a good
Yeah.
one. Even and it goes really good with the book. Like it kind of follows along. A few scenes in the book are a little better than the movie, but it's good.
Piece. I don't. It does have a Blu-ray watch, but I will. But yes. to everybody that was in the chat, there was like 30 to 40 people watching the entire night. I appreciate it. These,
Yes, thank you.
oftentimes, like I know you had mentioned, you were like, hey, there's not going to be as many people that show up for this as they do for game night. I was like, dude, I don't care. Like, in my opinion, these are my favorite streams to do. I love game night. It's a lot of fun, right? I get it.
Yeah.
It's even more fun when you're competing, way more fun. Um, because it's like intense. But does it have a slip? No, it does not have a slip. No slip cover, just a standard. I like how she understands the slip game now. You see that?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it means a lot. Everybody that watches these, that's the reason why we do them. But honestly, Adam, if there was 5 or 10 people watching these, I would still do them, and I would have a blast doing it as long as I could get on my phone and get my notes. Because I love it. I love doing these. I love getting recommendations. You recommended 10 movies, and look, I don't rush people. If I give you a list and it takes a year for somebody to watch it, I don't sleep a lot. I like to watch blind buys. So sometimes I could finish a list of 10 movies somebody gives me in 10 days or something like that, or 7 days. Just talking movies, like Fish said, these are better. Yeah, it's just so much fun. And even doing the what it means to us discussions, like where we do deep dives into movies, I really like doing that. Bob and Adam are great individuals and appreciate y'all's contribution to the community. I appreciate that, Eli. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
See,
thank you.
Adam, people love you, man.
Love you
I really
too.
enjoyed this, and see everyone Adam recommended. Great ones, Adam. For sure, I like these streams. It's a good way to get movies to look for and watch in the future. Plus, you really get to learn what everybody likes watching. Absolutely. That's what's so much fun about it, is you learn about people and you could recommend more movies based on that. And I think that's a huge part of it. Constructive criticism. This old man going bald cut sucks. Shave it all and join me in the 100% bald club. Adam has great recommendations. Look at that, people loving your recommendations. See, there's
Good
deeper stuff
movies.
out there. And let's see, I'm about to pull up my list that I have for you. I have 2 lists. I have over 20 films on it. But on the first one, I narrowed it down to 14. So we're going to see backstage which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't. I got a couple
Yeah.
horror titles on there that I think are going to be some deep, deep, deep cuts that you and not many people have heard of, that I think you'll really like, but you might have a really hard time finding.
I can't wait to hunt them down.
Yes. But anyways, that's everything. Like I said, these usually go about anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. I can't wait to be in your side of it, in your chair, when flipping it. And I know Tim said I could actually schedule his stream whenever I want. He's like, I'll finish it. You schedule it, I'll finish your list. I know Fish has, started working on it. And in 2 weeks from now, I'll be doing Ellie. Anybody in the community should know Ellie, and if you don't already know who Ellie is, she recommended 10 movies to me as well. So I'm really looking forward to diving into those. See, when I go through these, it's just so much fun, especially when you like them. It makes it a little bit easier to keep watching them. And then also it's just like super exciting. You want to get to the stream to talk about them. Mizzy, for example, he decided to make the heaviest of heaviest list, like with some deep, deep, deep topics on my list. And he's like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, dude, it's going to be like a 6-hour stream because one of the movies requires like a 5-hour conversation alone. Because he's just put the deepest of conversations on my list. So great stream, guys. Great recommendations, Adam. Great stream, Grant says. Hey, look at Grant popped in.
Hey,
Says,
what's
great
up,
stream.
Grant?
Can Fish start a food channel already? I got a perfect name for it. Fish and Chips. We've got great stream tonight, Adam. Thanks for a great stream, guys. Jane, thanks for always hanging out. It's awesome because I know you first popped in watching your son, Jeff. So it's really cool that she's continued to hang out. That honestly means a lot. I enjoy that. So thank you very much. Great stream. Look at that. Son and mother right back to back right there. So that's everything. I'm looking at my list right now and I can't wait to get into it. You might have seen a couple of them, but I've got 14 to choose from. So we will figure it out. And
We'll find 10.
It's a deep, deep dive into a bunch of different genres. So, but that's everything. Like I said, Adam's link is in the description down below. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so. Next week, I've got a game night. It's going to be off the rails. Jeff, I believe, should be on there. There's a bunch of different people on that one. I think Jeff's on. I don't even know. I got to look. Tiffany should be on there as well. So, first woman I'm going to have on these game nights. It's about time, and it's going to be wild next week. So, and then after that, Ellie, I'm doing a watch live stream with, doing the same thing. So make sure to tune into that. I've got streams scheduled throughout the entire course of April.
Did you
So,
did you want to
looking
know
forward to it.
which one I thought was your number one?
Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I totally am an idiot because I got a couple things I wanted to go over. I'm seriously stupid. Thank you for stopping me, dude. What was your rank? What was your prediction? I can't believe I did that. I am so stupid, dude. Go ahead, please.
I got you. So like from one,
Stupid.
do you want to know something like number 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
Do 10-1.
Okay, 10 to 1. Now I'm like rethinking this, but so my original picks. So I had Born on the 4th of July, number 10.
Okay, I was 7.
Yeah, I had actually Escape from Alcatraz, number 9.
Wow.
I know. This is going to be more shocking. A Few Good Men, number 8.
What?
I know. Even more shocking. A Fried Green Tomatoes at 7.
You were so off.
I know. I'm going to flip this around. Far and Away, number 6.
Okay,
Fortress 5.
Wow.
Maverick 4. I don't know why. Heartbreak Ridge 3. Silverado 2.
What?
And Rainmaker number 1.
Okay, so you thought I would like Rainmaker a lot, though. You were right on
Yeah,
that.
that was the closest one. I was way off on the rest.
Yeah, and we are gonna get Adam's ranking. I am sorry about that. I'm an
Oh
idiot.
no, you're good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, way off.
My predictions for you, and I'm gonna be way off as I went through the stream. 10 Fortress, number 9 Far and Away, 8 Maverick, 7 Rainmaker, 6 Silverado, 5 Fried Green Tomatoes, 4 Heartbreak Ridge, 3 Born on 4th of July, 2 Escape from Alcatraz. I figured we both were going to have A Few Good Men as number 1. So what is, starting from your 10, what would be your ranking?
We got one of them the same, so at least one was the same predict. So my number 10 was Born on 4th of July, again because it was too slow. Fried Green Tomatoes is 9.
Wow.
Escape from Alcatraz was 8. Rainmaker 7, so that was our one that matched. Maverick 6. Heartbreak Ridge number 5. A Few Good Men number 4. Far and Away number 3. Silverado at 2. And Fortress at 1.
Wait, mic drop. Hold on. Fortress was your number 1?
I told you, it's like one of those, when I watched it as a kid, and I just watched it 2 weeks ago or a week ago, still love it. I don't know why.
I had Fortress at 10.
I know. That's why I was like,
Wendy says it's the boobs.
There's no boobs in it. We talked about that, babe. This is not a TNA pile tonight or stack.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy
I just like how and even at the end, like the kids and the teacher, Rachel Ward, they know what they did. They went overboard, at the end, and they work together. Like, what? You can't either arrest us or don't. Like, I don't know.
Dell hasn't seen most of the titles. That's what's so fun about these streams. And like I said, I try my best because I know I'm in the same boat as Tony. I don't really like to hear people talk about a movie if I haven't seen it. I want to go in as blind as possible. Those are called nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah. Still number 1.
I like how your own wife said it's the boobs. That's great.
It's not the boobs.
Wendy's amazing. Okay. So we rank them, guess the ranking. Okay, this list 100%. I would recommend this list to people. Yeah. Would I buy these? Well, let's see. Maverick does not have a Blu-ray. Fortress does not have a Blu-ray. Silverado has a digibook. I do want that. I want Born on 4th of July. Far and Away I own. Heartbreak Ridge I own. Escape from Alcatraz I own. Rainmaker does not have a Blu-ray. Wait, it has Maverick has a Blu-ray too? What the hell?
Yeah.
I thought oh, I'm so off my game tonight. I'm usually good at this. Fried green tomatoes, and I do want A Few Good Men, but I want the slipcover on the 4K, and that's very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But yes, I would buy all of these movies, to be honest with you. And then lastly, one I was going to start adding was if I could rate these movies, he has all 10 right here. If I could rate this list, like not on average, but if I could rate this list, I would honestly give this list 4 stars because of how much I enjoyed the top ones in particular. And there wasn't one that was like average or to below average for me. So I would give this list 4 stars. Like
That's a win. That's a win.
Huge win.
Yes.
Huge win. Huge win. Yep, that's everything. Now I went over everything. I feel bad because some people might have missed that. But thank you for catching that. I do feel bad that I almost skipped that. I feel like I was off my meds tonight. I wasn't on my game. I did not do a very good job. So, but hopefully,
always next time.
Yeah, you live and you learn. I've skipped like on Fish's stream too. I forgot to go over like would I recommend this list to people. Like usually I would recommend the list if there's one good title on it. Yes, and I would always recommend a list because some people will like it. But Fish stayed with us. Hey, Diego's here. This is my buddy. I met him on Instagram, my old Instagram page, like 5 or 6 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. And we talk and chat all the time. And I texted him when I was watching one of the movies on Mizzy's list, and I was like, what the hell am I watching? And he was like, oh yeah, I had that same reaction watching that. So yep. But yeah, it's fun to see people like that pop in, long lost friends. And it's fun to see how close you can still be friends with people 5 years later and you've never met them in person 6 years later. Jane says we all threw you off, Bob, because we were all giving early out feedback. This was a great stream, guys. Fantastic recommendations, Adam. Still here too. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Diego, Fish, Dell, Wendy, everybody that's still hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Yep. And with that being said, I am going to put Adam full screen and I'm going to let him go ahead and talk about his channel and where he could find you, anything he's got coming up. And I got to get you on a game night because you haven't been on one yet, but your schedule's jam-packed. Tony's still. Thank you, Tony. Go ahead.
Yeah, so one of these nights I'll get on the game night. It's hopefully in a month or two I'll be a little slower. In my area, that's been raining a lot, so my swap meet trips have been kind of postponed the last 2 weeks. I do have another haul I'm going to have up here pretty soon, but just going to keep hunting, keep finding these titles, and it looks like I'm going to be watching 10 new movies that Bob recommends, so that'll come up soon enough. So
yeah,
that's it.
I do want to brag about Adam because he won't do it himself really quick. The reason I had to find the time to be on my streams for game nights is because, for one, he's only off on Tuesday nights, but but your sons, both of your sons, have a jam-packed baseball schedule, and then you obviously have a daughter as well. And I can't express enough, like, because I get the chance and the privilege to see the way you are as a father and how much I appreciate that, because I'm very close with my dad, and I've said this to Cody before, Cody and Emily, because they treat me like family, and I appreciate the way you and your kids and your wife treat me like family. So I can't express enough about how great of a father you are as well. And that's the reason I can never get you on my channels, because you even sent me your son's baseball schedule, which was great. So I was like, oh, nope. I saw it before. Remember when I asked you, I was like, wait, nope, you can't do this week. You're like, why? I was like, because your son's baseball game. You're like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I don't even have to look.
That's what I told Ryan tonight, because his coach made like some unplanned scrimmage. He's like, oh, you're not coming to the scrimmage? Oh, I'm like, but this has been planned for a month. I even sent Bob, he's all, Uncle Bob? I was like, yeah, we even sent him the schedule. So I couldn't make practice scrimmage tonight. But the wife's there. She's actually watching from the field.
Okay.
So and I couldn't do it without her. So it's
and she just said, Adam is a wonderful husband, and he's the best thing that has ever happened to me. and a fantastic father, and he is playing third base right now.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
still here too, Tony.
Get
And
him right.
that's the one thing too. Like when I do the Hall of Fame streams, I was like, I always have a spouse on or something like that, or I get whatever it is, kids on there, and it's like, it's never at this point, it's not going to be a surprise when I do those Hall of Fames anymore. But the nice thing is having like a wife or a husband get up there and talk. Every relationship's different. So when you ask the same question, it's always answered in a different way because nobody's going to answer the questions the same way. So it's one of those things. Glad you are still here, Tony. Or Tony says to Caveman. But yeah, I couldn't agree more with Wendy just from what I see. And hopefully I'll get a chance to meet you in California next year.
Yeah.
That's like a plan. So hopefully. But this is pretty much how long my stream lasted with Fish. So I figure these will last anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how quick we get through them. So thank you, man. Thank you for your time. I know you're busy and everything like that. So I appreciate you coming on here. It was a lot of fun once I got my phone open because it was really stressing me out. So, and I got my notes up there. You saw my demeanor change.
Yeah, you didn't have to focus on the password.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you, everyone in the chat. I appreciate it. Once again, these streams happen because of you. So,
yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But with that being said, I'm out. By the way, I could not figure out how to get the thumbnail clear on the screen. And so shout out to Tony because he is always helping me. That man is like the most clutch ever. Tony from Basement Blues, huge shout out. He's always doing the different thumbnails. He loves, I don't know if he loves doing it. That might be a lie, but he does.
Godlike.
Yes, Tony's the best. Tony is the best. Good night, all. And that is everything. So with that being said, everyone, have a good night. Night Fish. And that is it. Bye.